Ronaldo, one of the most famous international sports athletes of all time. But how well can he speak English? Let's take a closer look. Hey guys, this is Geoff with Fluent American again, and today we're taking a look at Ronaldo's English. We're going to analyze what are some of the things that make him sound natural, and what are some of the things that maybe he does a little bit differently than native English speakers. All right, let's take a closer look.
Well, as you mentioned before,
Notice how he says mentioned. He's like more mentioned, but it's going to be more mentioned. Mentioned in English. Mentioned.
the age is, for me, it's a number.
The age. The age. He's adding some H sounds before vowels. And this is something you see with a lot of Romance languages that you want to watch out for. Lots of words in English that starts with vowel sounds. Make sure that you're not adding an H before. So again, it's age, not hage. Age.
Not necessarily means that you have 34, 35, 36, that you are in the end of your career.
Another common thing for Romance language speakers is short eyes. Short eyes versus long eyes. This actually isn't just for people who speak Spanish, Italian, Portuguese. You know, this is for Russian speakers, Chinese speakers, everybody. Watch out for those short eyes. So again, it's like six, not six. It's more six. Don't forget, subscribe to this channel.
You have 34, 35, 36, that you are in the end of your career.
One thing you can also tell is that he's a little bit more trained in British English. He's tending to drop final R's. So for instance, like in career, that's more of a trait of British English. In American English, you want to make sure that you're holding those R sounds, make them super strong. So if American English is your preference, make sure when you say career, in words like that, you hold those final R's. Career.
I can show that with my exhibitions, the way I play, the way I still feel good, sharp, thinking the game.
Also, he has some things with like THs, so watch out for TH. My suggestions, like for instance, in words like thinking, you want to press the tip of your tongue against your top front tooth. Press very lightly. Like in think. I know a lot of times when the TH is taught, it's taught that you should like have the tip of your tongue out past your tooth, like, and things like that. But the reality is it doesn't need to go that far. Just as long as you're making slight contact with the back of your top front tooth, you can still make that th sound without making a t or d. It's like thinking.
I think the team, it's much better. We are more confident.
Another big difference that you're going to find between British English and American English, words like confidence. So where those O's in American English will have an ah sound. A lot of times in British English, they have more of an aw sound. So confidence versus like confidence. In American English, again, if that's your goal, you want to have a little bit wider and you want to lower the back of your tongue. Confidence.
We are more confident. We play, in my opinion, a different kind of football. We play more in an attack with more possession. My rule, I think it's...
Notice how he says roll. He almost pronounces it more like rule, but it's more roll. All with that O sound. If you need some more practice with the O, we have some videos on that because it is a little bit tricky. It's a diphthong. There's some movement, starting with your mouth wide and then closing it with small round lips. O, like in roll. It's a little bit more complicated too when you have L sounds involved. Okay, so definitely a sound that you want to watch out for. Roll.
It's kind of similar, maybe a little bit more free. The way I feel comfortable, the way I feel good.
I really like how he said the word comfortable. Comfortable is a word that so many students struggle with. They want to say comfortable or comfortable, but typically with native speakers, you're going to hear comfortable. Notice that you're switching like the T and the R sound. Comfortable. So one of the big things I noticed, and this is true for a lot of Romance languages when they're speaking in English, is Romance languages again are syllable times. Like every single syllable gets about the same weight, whereas English is stress timed. And if you've seen a lot of our videos, I'm always talking about this. So one thing that Ronaldo is doing a lot when he's talking is he's stressing every single syllable. There's not as many reductions, so you can really hear every single syllable very clearly. And native speakers typically just aren't going to do that. If a word's not stressed, or if a part of a word is not stressed, what's going to happen is the native speaker is typically going to reduce it. They're going to say it faster. The vowel sound is not going to be held as long, and it's pretty much going to be, I don't want to say rushed, but it's going to keep moving until you get to the stressed part of a word or the stressed part of a sentence. It's not going to be held as long. Let's see if we can find a quick example.
It's a number. Not necessarily means that.
Also, for instance, he says necessary instead of necessarily, but necessarily is a great example of this too. Like when you say necessarily, the stress is on necessaire. The other parts of the word are said faster, even though he's saying it a little bit slower. I think with native speakers, you'll often hear him pronounce a little bit faster, necessarily. So again, those are just some quick comments on a very small section of speech by Ronaldo. I think overall he speaks great. He speaks very naturally. Again, a lot more British influences on his speaking than American English, but I think American English and British English still do have some similarities, especially with a lot of vowel sounds and things. But yeah, overall, he's obviously come a long way with his English, especially if you listen to some of his older interviews from like 5-10 years ago. Have another person or celebrity that you would like us to analyze in terms of their English pronunciation and intonation and things? Be sure to let us know in the comments.